Hello everyone, and welcome back to Hidden Korea. We're thrilled to have you with us today because what we're about to reveal has left the entire nation completely stunned. Yes, you heard that right. Today's headline is shaking the Korean entertainment world to its core. Hyo-joo confirms marriage to Kang Dong-won. The nation can't believe who the groom is. Two of Korea's most admired stars, icons of talent, mystery, and timeless elegance, have just made an announcement that no one saw coming. For years, they shared the screen. Their chemistry undeniable, but was something deeper blooming behind the scenes? How did one of the most private actresses in Korea manage to keep such a life-changing secret? And what exactly happened that led to this unbelievable union, one that fans are calling the most unexpected love story of the decade? Stay tuned, because we're uncovering every hidden moment, every whispered rumor, and every piece of truth behind this shocking marriage announcement. This is one story you simply can't miss, so let's dive in. Right now, on Hidden Korea. Like any ordinary morning in Seoul, until one headline shattered the calm. At exactly 9 a.m., Korea's largest news outlets received an encrypted email from Hyo-joo's management. It contained just two lines that would shake the entire entertainment industry to its core. Actress Hyo-joo will hold a press conference today at 2 p.m. to deliver personal news regarding her private life. The words personal news sent waves across every newsroom in the country. Within minutes, online forums lit up with speculation. Was it a new film? A retirement announcement? Or perhaps, something far more personal? By noon, her agency building in Gangnam was surrounded by reporters. Cameras flashed as fans gathered. Photos, flowers, and handwritten notes. Social media boiled over with theories, some hopeful, some scandalous. But no one could have predicted what was about to unfold. At precisely 2:03 p.m., the elevator doors opened, and Hyo-joo stepped out. She wore a cream-colored dress, her hair softly curled, her face serene yet unreadable. The moment she appeared, the room fell silent. Her reputation was that of mystery and grace, Korea's eternal actress, adored for her subtle beauty and emotional depth. She rarely spoke about her personal life, never once linked to any confirmed romantic partner in over 20 years of fame. And now, she stood before the world, holding a folded sheet of paper in her trembling hands. She bowed deeply before speaking. "Thank you all for coming. I have something very important to share today." The air tightened. You could hear the clicking of cameras, the hush of breath being held. "For the first time in my life," she continued, voice soft but steady, "I have found someone I want to spend the rest of my days with." Reporters froze mid-scribble. Fans outside screamed. The sound of shutters exploded like thunder. "I am getting married," she said, her tone gentle yet unshakable, "to someone who has stood beside me quietly, sincerely." Great courage. The room erupted in chaos. Everyone shouted at once, "Who is it? Is it an actor, a businessman, someone from the industry?" Hyo-joo smiled faintly, her eyes glimmering with emotion. "Yes," she said. "He is someone you all know well. Someone I worked with many years ago, someone who made me believe in love again." And then, she spoke the name. Kang Dong-won. The crowd gasped audibly. Some reporters even dropped their pens. The name echoed through the room like a lightning strike. Kang Dong-won, one of Korea's most enigmatic stars. Handsome, intellectual, and famously private. He was the actor who turned down in nearly every variety show, who avoided social media, who let his work speak for him. Known for his perfectionism and mystery, he was an icon of solitude, the man who once said in an interview, "I'm married to my craft." That same man was marrying Hyo-joo. The two had worked together years ago in the critically acclaimed film Alang, The Wolf Brigade. Their chemistry back then had sparked rumors. Had denied any romantic involvement. Fans remembered their quiet, knowing glances during interviews, but dismissed them as professionalism. Now, it all made sense. Hyo-joo continued her statement, her voice trembling slightly. "We met again last year. Purely by coincidence. During a private charity event. It had been years since we last spoke. That moment. It felt like time hadn't passed at all." She paused, her eyes misting. Asked how I was doing. I told him I'd been tired, that acting sometimes felt like living in someone else's shadow. And he said something I'll never forget, "Then it's time you lived in your own light." Her voice broke for a second before she smiled softly. From that day, everything changed. The press conference lasted only 15 minutes. But in those 15 minutes, the entire entertainment world turned upside down. Within an hour, the internet crashed from the sheer volume of searches. The phrase Han Hyo-joo Kang Dong-won marriage became the #1 trending topic worldwide. Fans across Asia flooded social media with disbelief, joy, and heartbreak. Some were ecstatic. They're a perfect match, visual gods united. Feels like a drama come to life. Others were stunned. Wait? Kang Dong-won? The man who said he'd never marry. Need time to process this. But amid the chaos, one thing was certain. This wasn't just a love story. It was a union that defied every expectation of fame, age, and public image. By evening, new details began to surface. Sources close to both actors revealed that they had been secretly dating for nearly 3 years, meeting quietly at art galleries, mountain trails, and secluded cafes. Their inner circles reportedly described their relationship as built on trust, not spectacle. Yet, behind their serenity was a battle few knew about. According to one insider, both faced immense pressure from management companies and brand partners. They were warned that going public could hurt their careers, the source said. They were told their images were too valuable to risk. Han Hyo-joo was especially torn. A beloved actress with luxury endorsements and global contracts. She knew a public romance could jeopardize her status. But love, once found, demanded honesty. Late that night, Kang Dong-won's agency confirmed the news with a brief but heartfelt statement. It is true. The two have been in a loving relationship based on deep respect and trust. They plan to marry with their family's blessings. Please support them warmly. That single confirmation set the world ablaze. Every entertainment network ran emergency broadcasts. Breaking: Han Hyo-joo and Kang Dong-won, a secret love story revealed. Old photos resurfaced. A behind-the-scenes video from Ilang went viral again, where Kang Dong-won had adjusted Han Hyo-joo's hair mid-interview, laughing shyly. Fans now replayed it with new meaning. Questions lingered. How did they keep their love hidden for so long? Who else knew? And why choose now to reveal it? As one reporter later discovered, it wasn't the couple's plan to announce it this soon. Someone had already leaked information to the press the night before, forcing them to confirm before rumors spun out of control. It was supposed to be a quiet, private wedding, a ceremony by the sea, far from flashing cameras. Instead, it became the biggest headline in Asia. But if the public thought they had seen the full story, they were wrong. Because behind this fairy tale announcement lay a truth far more dramatic, one that would soon surface, revealing the real reason Han Hyo-joo and Kang Dong-won had chosen to fight against the system itself for their love. And when that truth came out, the entire nation would realize, this marriage wasn't just unexpected. It was revolutionary. The morning after the announcement, people woke up to pandemonium. News channels ran 24-hour coverage. Reporters camped outside their agencies. And every talk show debated the same question: how did they manage to keep it a secret for so long? But while the public rejoiced, the entertainment industry was boiling beneath the surface. According to insiders, not everyone was happy about the revelation. Several advertising contracts tied to both stars, worth millions, were suddenly under review. One executive reportedly exclaimed, "Are both icons of fantasy. How can they get married now?" The pressure was immense. Hyo-joo's team was flooded with calls demanding explanations, while Kang Dong-won's agency received veiled threats from powerful industry figures. Still, the couple remained silent. That silence, however, was not weakness, it was resolve. Later, photos emerged online. A grainy image captured Han Hyo-joo and Kang Dong-won walking hand in hand near the Han River at sunset, unaware of the paparazzi trailing behind them. There was no pretense, no glamour, no disguise, just two people, quietly existing together. The photo went viral. Netizens flooded the comments with emotion. This isn't just news. It's hope. Free for the first time. And yet, just as quickly, darker rumors began spreading. A tabloid claimed the relationship had been arranged for publicity, a lie meant to stir controversy. Another outlet suggested the wedding had already been delayed due to family disagreement. Han Hyo-joo had had enough. 9 p.m., she posted a handwritten letter to her fans. I've spent my life portraying love on screen. For the first time, I am living it for real. Plan for this to become a spectacle. We just wanted to love quietly, honestly. I hope you'll let us. The letter silenced critics instantly. It was tender, human, and unfiltered, exactly who she had always been. 3 weeks later, the wedding took place. Jeju Island was blanketed in early spring mist. Soft pink flowers blooming across the cliffs. Ceremony was small, fewer than 50 guests. No media, no sponsors. The aisle faced the sea. Same ocean where they had first confessed their love. Hyo-joo appeared, wearing a gown of pure simplicity and no jewelry except a ring of gold. Kang Dong-won's eyes filled with tears. He whispered, "Everything I waited for." During the vows, she smiled, her voice trembling. People say love fades with time. But ours began when time stopped mattering. You were the quiet I didn't know I needed. And when he replied, there wasn't a dry eye in the crowd. I used to fear losing my freedom. But then I realized, freedom means choosing the one you can be yourself with. And I choose you. As the sun set over the horizon, kissed beneath the glowing sky, the sea breeze carrying their laughter far beyond the island. The next morning, their agencies released the final statement. Hyo-joo and Kang Dong-won are now officially married. They thank everyone who has supported them through this journey and promise to return soon, as artists. And as two people living truthfully. Internet erupted in applause. Hashtags celebrating their union trended globally. Even veteran actors and producers posted blessings. It's a marriage that gives courage to love. Months later, Hyo-joo made her first post-wedding appearance in public. She smiled softly at reporters and said, "It hasn't changed who I am. It just reminded me that even in a world of lights and noise, love can still be quiet, and that's enough." Her words resonated far beyond celebrity culture. For many, she had become a symbol of courage, a woman who dared to love in a world that told her not to. As for Kang Dong-won, asked about his life as a husband, he chuckled lightly and replied, "Simple. She's my peace." And so, their story, once hidden, once doubted, became one of the most iconic love stories in modern Korean entertainment. Not because of its glamour, because of its truth. For decades, Hyo-joo and Kang Dong-won had lived in the spotlight. But in the end, it was the light within them, quiet, resilient, unbreakable, that outshone everything else. A nation that once gasped in shock now smiled with warmth. Because sometimes, the most unbelievable stories are the ones that turn out to be real. The news of Hyo-joo's marriage to Kang Dong-won had barely begun to settle when the storm intensified. The following morning, woke up to chaos, the kind that could only be triggered by a love story too powerful, too unexpected, to remain ordinary. Major news channels replayed the press conference over and over. Analysts discussed every glance, every word, every pause between them. Body language experts claimed they saw hidden emotion. Psychologists described their connection as an unspoken bond built on time and restraint. But behind the glittering headlines, something darker brewed. Just hours after the announcement, reports surfaced that certain corporate sponsors had immediately pulled out of ongoing endorsement deals. The reason was simple and brutal: marriage changes market value. Hyo-joo, once the golden face of luxury and youth, was being told that love had made her less profitable. The actress didn't respond. She didn't post, didn't appear, explain. Instead, she vanished, retreating into silence as the world debated her life. Fans worried, journalists speculated. Those who knew her best understood that Hyo-joo had run from chaos. She simply waited for the right moment to face it. And that moment came 1 week later. A handwritten letter appeared on her official website. Written in delicate black ink. "To everyone who has supported me, thank you. I did not fall in love to shock or surprise anyone. I simply followed what felt true. I have lived a long time in the spotlight, smiling for others, tending to be invincible. But now, I just want to smile for myself, and for him. Love, even for someone like me, is not a performance. It is real." The letter went viral within minutes. Fans called it the most beautiful confession of the year. Even critics fell silent. But the drama didn't end there. A major entertainment outlet dropped a bombshell the very next morning, releasing unseen photos of Hyo-joo and Kang Dong-won from 3 years earlier. The pictures showed them dining at a small Japanese restaurant in Busan. Long before anyone knew of their relationship. Revelation confirmed what the couple had hinted: their love wasn't new. It had survived in secret, quietly. Years of separation and pressure. Soon, insiders came forward with stories. One makeup artist shared. "I worked with him on a photoshoot years ago. Between takes, he'd make her laugh quietly when no one was watching. It wasn't romantic, it was peaceful. You could tell something deeper was there." Another staff member revealed that Kang Dong-won had often refused public events. Not out of arrogance, but to protect her. At once, the less noise, the longer it lasts. Still, the backlash grew. Some fans accused Kang Dong-won of being too private. Others claimed Hyo-joo was sacrificing her career. But those closest to them knew better. What they had wasn't rebellion. It was survival. 3 weeks after the chaos began, both stars disappeared from Seoul entirely. Agencies released a joint statement confirming that the couple had traveled abroad for personal reasons. No one knew where they went, until tourists spotted them in Switzerland. A photo surfaced online, the two of them, dressed casually, walking hand in hand through the streets of Zurich. There was no entourage, no disguise, just two people blending into the crowd. The first time in years anyone had seen Hyo-joo looking so free. When the image hit the internet, it spread like wildfire. Fans around the world reposted it with captions like "This is what peace looks like," and they escaped the noise to find their truth. For a while, it seemed like the storm had finally passed. But one more twist awaited, one that would change everything. A month before their scheduled wedding, Popular Entertainment magazine claimed that the ceremony had been delayed due to disagreement between families. The rumor exploded across the internet. True? Were they in trouble? Days later, Hyo-joo herself ended the speculation, not with words, but with an image. On her Instagram, she posted a photo of two intertwined hands, resting on a white notebook with a caption: "No delays. No doubts. Just us." The world went silent again. And then, the wedding day arrived. Jeju Island shimmered under golden sunlight. The sea wind carried the scent of fresh flowers across the cliffside venue. Only 50 guests were invited, close family, lifelong friends, and a few industry veterans who had witnessed both stars' journeys. Soft piano music filled the air. Hyo-joo appeared in a simple silk gown. There were no diamonds, no glitter, only elegance. Kang Dong-won waited by the altar, expression calm but his eyes trembling with emotion. When their eyes met, time seemed to stop. Years of hiding, the nights of fear, the burden of secrecy, all melted away in that one moment. Their vows were simple, achingly beautiful. Hyo-joo said softly, "I thought love was something that would distract me from who I am. I know, love is what allows me to be myself." Kang Dong-won smiled through tears. "My life building walls to protect myself. Taught me that love isn't a threat, it's home." When they exchanged rings, the crowd erupted in applause. The ocean behind them shimmered like glass, reflecting the setting sun. It was a scene that could have come from one of their films, except this time, it was real. Afterward, as guests toasted the couple under a canopy of stars, Kang Dong-won raised his glass and said, "Didn't choose an easy path. But every moment, every challenge, brought us here. And I wouldn't change a thing." Their story, once a scandal, had transformed into something sacred, a rare kind of love story that transcended fame, fear, and expectation. Next morning, the headlines were different. Gone were the words shock and controversy. Instead, woke up to headlines that read, Hyo-joo and Kang Dong-won redefine what true love means. A wedding that healed an entire nation. The couple's agencies confirmed that they would be taking a break from work to focus on their marriage. But in a quiet post months later, Hyo-joo wrote one final message that moved millions. "We didn't want to prove anything. We just wanted to live truthfully. Love doesn't always need to be loud. Sometimes, it's enough that it's real. And perhaps, in that silence, the kind only two souls who truly understand each other can share." Hyo-joo and Kang Dong-won finally found what they had been searching for all along: peace. The world that once gasped in disbelief now smiled with admiration. Their love had begun in secrecy, survived in struggle, ended, not with fanfare, but with quiet triumph. Because in the end, the greatest shock wasn't that Hyo-joo married Kang Dong-won. It was that, in a world obsessed with appearances, chose to love, without fear. As the final sunset fell over Jeju Island, the soft sound of the ocean merged with laughter, music, and the faint clinking of glasses. The wedding had ended hours ago, but the air still shimmered with warmth, the kind that lingers when something pure has just taken place. Hyo-joo and Kang Dong-won stood by the shoreline, hand in hand, their silhouettes framed by golden twilight. No cameras now, no crowds, no reporters fighting for a glimpse, just them, together, free. She leaned her head gently on his shoulder and whispered, "We made it." He smiled, his voice quiet. "We always would." For the first time in years, they didn't have to hide. Their love, once whispered behind closed doors, doubted, dissected, denied, now existed under open skies. Great and undeniable. The world that once gasped in shock now sighed with relief. The story that began as a secret had become a testament, not just to romance, but to courage. Because love, when it's real, doesn't demand perfection. It simply asks to be seen. Days later, a journalist wrote, "They didn't break the rules of fame, they rewrote them." Indeed, they had. By choosing honesty over image, sincerity over spectacle, they reminded millions that behind every star is a human being who just wants to love and be loved. Hyo-joo would later say in an interview, "Truth is, I never wanted to shock anyone. I just wanted to stop pretending. Love gave me the courage to do that." Kang Dong-won, ever the man of few words, smiled and added, "She taught me that peace doesn't come from solitude, it comes from being with the right person." The two of them became a symbol of something rare in entertainment, authenticity. They showed that even in an industry built on illusion, something real could survive. Thank you, dear readers and viewers, for joining us through this extraordinary journey, a story that reminded us all that behind the glamour, fame, and flashing lights, there are hearts that beat just like ours. Hyo-joo and Kang Dong-won's union wasn't just a wedding, it was a message that love, when chosen with courage, can silence even the loudest noise. To everyone who believed in their story, thank you for keeping faith in genuine connection, for understanding that even the brightest stars need the comfort of someone who truly sees them. This has been Hidden Korea, where truth meets emotion, and where every story, no matter how glamorous or shocking, finds its human heartbeat. Until next time, remember, real love doesn't live in perfection. It lives in truth.